Hello, I'm Mark. I'm going to be showing you today how we're going to build part of a track using the PITT CC FLWR. This is a MIDI controller and sequencer and recorder. What we're going to be doing today is it's going to be controlling a Korg Volca sample. So this Volca sample has had the Beta 6 firmware update, which means it can play MIDI notes that will change the pitch of each sample automatically. And for this we're going to be using an Arturia key step as our controlling keyboard. So what we're going to do now is I'm just going to quickly go through what samples are selected on my particular patch on here. So the first one we got is a big bass. That's probably going to be our bass line. Number 2, that is a nice big snare. We've got number 3, another snare for add variety. Number 4 is the shaker. Now number 5, this is going to be our kick tom. That's going to go to the basis of our 4 to the floor. 6 is going to be a tambourine. Tambourines tend to cut through nicely in any mix. Number 7 is a synth lead sound. Again, that's probably something that we're going to be sequencing later. That's like a toy piano type sound. Again, we might be doing something with that later when we develop the track. That's our open hi-hat, that's on number 9, and number 10 is our closed hi-hat. So that's all the 10 sounds that we're going to be using today. So without further ado, I'm going to go into the CC FLWR. I'm going to select a BPM of around 128. That's around about a nice house dance track type of tempo. And when we press play, no sounds, but we can see that the sequence is running on the sample, so it's all clocked. We've got we've got a sync there. Now, what I'm going to do to start off is I'm going to go into track 5, part 5, and using step mode, I'm going to put a quick 4 to the floor in. So this is going to be the basis of what we're going to hang everything onto. I think to start with, I'm going to go into MIDI channel 1, and I'm going to do the same on the CC FLWR. So track 1, MIDI 1, and we're going to go into NT1, which is note mode 1. So this means it's looking for notes and it's going to be playing notes. When I press this button here, it's going to say that when recording mode is on, through mode is on. So whatever the Arturia is going to be playing here, it's going to be going straight through and into the Volca sample while recording it on the CC FLWR. Next thing I'm going to do is on this menu here, I've got patch mode is on, so it's going to play all the patches together, but quantize is off. I'm going to turn that on to make life a little bit easier for myself. So now rate is going to be 8 parts, but again that's going to relate to the quantize. So now I'm just going to play a little bass riff. So you see there, I've just done a couple of notes, it's appeared on the screen. That sequence is now recorded. So it's doing over 1 bar. For number 2, I'm going to do a 4 bar. And for this, I'm going to do it on MIDI track 7, which is our lead synth. Again, we've got note mode 1 on. And I'm just going to put my Arturia onto MIDI track 7, so it's going to be all playing. And I'm just going to change the rate. So yeah, I'm going to change it to 4, so 4 parts in there. So we're going to go. So there you go, we've got now a little basis going on there, so it's got an ascending note order and it's all being recorded on the screen. If we want to, we can change that by, if I press the left encoder and amplitude, which is the A, I can now shift the octave up and down on that. So again, a bit more of a growl to it. We can go back up to normal, or we can go really high. You can do this by individual notes as well, by just pressing the A, but I want to keep this into key, so I'm quite happy with that. So I'm just going to now put a snare backing on it. So now it's becoming a bit more of a track. I want to do some hi-hats, so I could just put in the 16th on here, or again, I can go into the CC FLWR. We're going to do it over 1 bar, split it up by 16ths. MIDI track is going to be 10 because that's where our closed hi-hats are assigned to. Note 1, so we're actually going to do some note variations on, so it's going to give a 16ths, but it's going to go a little bit up and down. So here we go. And before I do that, I've got to select number 10 as my MIDI track, and here we go. So again, you can hear that I've got a little bit of variation there. I can actually put a little bit more in. And of course, I've just pulled that nicely into a nice sequence. Okay. Pick an empty track. Track 1 is empty, the patch one. So now I know that I've got my little toy piano on MIDI 8. So select MIDI 8. MIDI note mode 1, okay, and then importantly 8 on our controlling keyboard, and I'm going to go with 16ths again, so it's going to quantize. So again, I'm going to bring that down a little bit. So again, we've got some nice little pattern there. It's a bit harsh for me, so I'm just going to bring the volume down on it slightly. So there we go. So now we've got the basics of a track just knocked up very quickly using the CC FLWR. If we just press stop, it will stop it, and if we press play again, all nicely in time.